Yo! Video games.
What up, dudes? Matt here from YoVideogames, and I'm back again with my final couple videos for the Summer Games Fest Playdays, and I figured I'd give you a smattering of a couple sort of off-the-grid, or maybe something that's not getting quite as much press as, say, an Onimusha or Resident Evil, and I'm going to talk about some indie games, particularly those from Megabit Studios. So I got like 3 on the docket here, so let me just quickly go through them with you, each one, and because each one is a very, very different experience, and maybe it's something that if you're looking for something a little different or maybe a little more unconventional, maybe these might be your jam. The first one is a game called Lagoon. So what this game is basically like a weird tailspin simulator mixed with some crafting a la Fortnite or Minecraft, if you will. It's definitely aimed at like a sort of a younger crowd, if you will, or just people who like that aesthetic. You basically play as a courier who has their own seaplane, and you go from area to area around this archipelago, and you do quest lines, and you build stuff up, and yeah, you basically live the life of Baloo from Tailspin. Now, aesthetically, this game looks like it stole Jak and Daxter's engine from the first Jak and Daxter game on the PS2. So if you really like that sort of look or vibe of the PS2 era platformer games, this is right up your alley. But it's not really just a platformer. Again, it has a whole crafting, building thing going on for it. It's got a whole side quest. It's almost RPG-ish in the way its side quests go, and it has a whole resource gathering mechanic. And that's kind of the one thing that you have to be, I would say, to be a little aware of when jumping into Lagoon if you are interested in checking out the game, is that I jumped into a save file at the Playdays that was further along in, whereas when you first start the game, you don't just, hey, here's your seaplane, go do stuff. It's a lot of gathering resources. And you have like a sort of like Luigi's Mansion, Ghostbusters, like vacuum suck mechanic thing. But you got to go and collect a bunch of stuff when you start the game from scratch. And then once you're in the game further, you've got your license, you got your plane, you got your stuff. Then it's a lot more free form of to what you can do. So again, the game maybe wants to really ease you in to all its different mechanics by making you go through each one very slowly before jumping in. And the game, and again, the presentation or the demo I played was a save file a little ways into the game where I'm already building radio towers and flying between islands on the plane. Now, the plane controls are actually very good. As far as the on-foot stuff, it's okay. You can swim. Thank God this is a game that takes place, in the open ocean for the most part. So if it didn't have swimming, I'd be upset. Though the swimming controls were as far as the actual platforming controls, they are okay. But the plane controls pretty well as far as that stuff goes. But this is definitely a game for either the child in you or a child in your life who doesn't want to get something that's like mind-bendingly tough. It's not going to like be punishing. It's more about like, hey, just run around, collect a bunch of stuff, and then build stuff with that and see how you go from there. So yeah, this is definitely something that's trying to take a little bit of like, well, what's popular now with Minecraft and Roblox and Fortnite and Lego Fortnite and trying to like and what was popular at the time, which was PS2 style looking games and platforming and flying around. Put those two together and kind of try to make a boomer generation and an alpha generation and make them come together for something that is Lagoon. It was interesting enough. It was definitely. It was something that again, if you're really into this stuff, you can go for. There's like fishing mechanics as well, and you don't have to craft. Like crafting is not 100% necessity for the game. It was something that was like, imparted to me from the people at Summer Games Fest. Like, yeah, you are not forced to ever build anything, but it's kind of there. It's kind of a big part of it. Now, the second game I played, if you're like, okay, I don't want things that are easier for kids, and that was OMUT. And OMUT is a game that's like, you know what? If you ever sat there and played Cuphead and thought, this shit is too easy, man, do I have a game for you. So OMUT basically takes sort of Cuphead mentality, boss rush mentality, and it puts it into a game that's sort of like take the aesthetic of Limbo, but make it sprite-based, like really low-res sprite-based, like Needhog 1 level sprite-based, but then give it this really grindery, low-budget horror aesthetic. And then mix it with sort of like Cuphead difficulty, but like make it like 20, 30, 50 times harder than Cuphead. So OMUT is a game where you're wandering around the woods, lost in some sort of hell or purgatory as I believe a kid, or it's really hard to tell because it's a really low res little sprite, little Atari era sprite, and you get a shotgun and you make a deal with a corpse, and you basically have to start fighting these bosses afterwards, and it's one hit death. And the bosses are insanely punishing right from the get-go. The first bit of gameplay you actually do is this bouncing, like it looks like an undead head of some creature, and it's bouncing around. And your job is to make sure it never touches the ground, and it's trying to fall to touch the ground. And use your shotgun to keep it in the air. Now, the shotgun has a somewhat slow rate of fire. It also has a Mega Man-like mechanic where you can't just litter the screen with bullets constantly. So you get like a certain amount of shots before you have to wait before you can shoot your next one. You can't have too many bullets on screen, kind of thing. So you do all of that when it functions on it's a side scroller with twin stick shooting. So you're going to be twin stick aiming with the right stick and then moving with the left and then jumping and shooting, of course, with the face buttons and the right trigger. And yeah, you have to keep this bouncing, fast-moving head from touching the ground, and it really wants to touch the ground. Took me 94 tries to kill this thing. So yeah, that's OMUT. It's a game that is, when they say games are not for everyone, they mean it. This game is not for everyone. It is hard. It is designed to be hard. It is designed to be clunky and janky. It's designed to have a really off-putting sort of aesthetic, a really like creepy, weird horror vibe, and yeah, it's for a very specific type of gamer. And hey, if that sounds like you, give it a try, because if you say you can beat OMUT, you definitely are beating a game that most people probably never could. The last game I played, and we'll talk about in this video, is Pathfinder, a brand new Pathfinder that is actually a sort of spiritual sequel to Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, which sounds kind of, might be a little interesting, since we haven't really seen a game like this in a while. It really reminds me a lot of Gauntlet Dark Legacy, which is what I'm more familiar with, because I didn't actually play, full disclosure, did not play the original Dark Alliance. So yeah, like there's a new Pathfinder game that's coming out, and the nice thing about it is that it uses co-op as its main mechanic rather than, this is best played co-op. Co-op is actually like part of it. What you're going to be doing what you'll be doing in this game is very much action RPG style, and when you level up, you level up like in real time, and it doesn't take all the screens. That's where I kind of get like the Gauntlet Dark Legacy kind of vibe for it or whatever. And what you're getting at here in this new Pathfinder game is something where even if you're just soloing it, the computer will take over for the other three characters. So the reason they do that is both for gameplay and for story reasons, because you're basically doing a dungeon crawl where you're going deeper and deeper and deeper into this one subterranean area. I'm not, and again, I don't know my ears from my asshole as far as Pathfinder the IP goes. So it's fantasy RP, fantasy medieval setting, but the game is pretty fun. Now, it has a lot of stiff competition from games like Absalom and Towerborn and other things that are out now or about to come out. But this one looks more like Gauntlet and Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. It aesthetically, art style wise, is way more similar to those games. And again, this one is a game that will give you co-op AI buddies if you don't have real friends to play with. And again, they do that for like both gameplay and story reasons, and it really does help with the gameplay because it doesn't mean like every enemy just beelines it and Zerg rushes you. So I played it with a couple other people during my session, and it was pretty fun for the most part. I can't say it was bad. I mean, I don't think it doesn't quite have the sort of arcadey sauce that, say, Absalom or Towerborn has, because those are kind of going at things with a very fighting game mindset, and Pathfinder's going at things with a much more Western tabletop RPG mindset. So if you wanted something that was a little more slower pace, something that really you didn't have to worry about like combos and like precise input timings, this may be more your speed. So it definitely, of the 3 indie games I played from Megabit, this one looked the best, graphically speaking. So and it's definitely made with a lot of heart. You can definitely tell the developers, working with the company who runs Pathfinder, really wanted to make their version of Gauntlet Dark Legacy or Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. So just having this sort of couch co-op experience, and when people go in to like level up their stats, they don't interrupt the game. People don't have to sit around and wait. Just takes a little portion of the screen up, and you can see what they're doing, and you can do stuff on your own. So overall, a pleasant game, a pleasant surprise. We got all the way down to the boss. We died once, then we came back and we beat it. And yeah, it was pretty good. But again, I'm a little bit more of that sort of rush down. Like I want a combo. I want to do family fun combos on things. So, maybe not quite my speed, but maybe more yours. Especially if you really hate hand-drawn aesthetics of games like Absalom or Towerborn, then I think you want something a little more gritty, a little more realistic. Pathfinder's the way to go for you. So yeah, these were all pretty good games for the most part. I don't really have a lot, much. Like the worst playing is OMUT, but it's by design. Like it's meant to be a really stiff, clunky game, and it's meant to be really hard because of it, and that's what it's going for. So that was a game where it's like, this is hard and kind of clunky, but it's kind of made to be. So all these games offer something very different. One is very much a vibes-based tailspin simulator meant for a younger crowd. One is a hardcore as hardcore gets, twin-stick side-scroll shooter. And then you have a co-op like action RPG with Pathfinder. And that's just trying to be you and your buds having a good time on the couch. So, all decent times here from Megabit showing here at Summer Games Fest Playdays. And yeah, that'll about do it for these games. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you on the channel later, dudes.